Hi, everybody. I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Um, this is going to be these next couple of days are going to kind of be a video marathon making days for me. I'm in the States for like 4 more days, and I have some running around, some errands to do. So, and I don't know what kind of internet I'm going back to, so I'm going to go on a video making spree over these next few days. So I don't know when these will come out or whatever. But anyhow, thought I just wanted to talk about this raw vegan obsession today, and you know, right early here in the year because this will come out probably within the first week of the year, whichever day it comes out. And I'm going to give you the biggest tip for this lifestyle that nobody's throwing around out there yet is stay away from these people that are just absolutely obsessed with raw vegan, that are kind of making a religion out of it, and don't get sucked into that mentality yourself. Now, before you think I'm throwing shade on the raw vegan lifestyle, it's anything but. I talk about that all the time. That I know for me, and I'm kind of a hybrid because I come back and forth to the States, and when I come to the States, I eat some cooked food. But then when I go back to Costa Rica, I slip right back into the fully raw. And I do. I mean, I'll be the first to tell you, just from a stepping back, no emotion, whatever, I feel better when I am eating fully raw. It's not always, it's not always convenient for me, and I'm not going to run around and chase my tail and carry lots of amounts of food as long as I know I have that I have clean options available. They're just not fully raw all the time. Because like sometimes it's like you can't even get into real conversations about health in forums and in various groups because it just all boils down to that religion of raw. I mean, you can relate to this. Think about it. If you read comments on YouTube, or if you participate in threads and conversations in Facebook groups, think about it and see if you haven't seen this 100 times. You've got a discussion going, pretty good discussion going on this and that, and then there's always that person that comes in to ask about every ingredient. Is that technically raw? They're like the little nerdy type that just wants to make sure that they are sticking to the letter of the law. And that's when I don't get into it. I don't say anything rude to anybody. I don't even say anything to try to change their thinking. I just disappear from those conversations because they don't serve me. Nothing's really accomplished. It just becomes like this little look at me, look at me. I'm the rawest of the raw. I follow all the rules and I never get anything in there. They just get so caught up in this little stuff that's so insignificant. Like, is that ingredient fully raw? Is this one fully raw? When I'm always going to say it's about health. And a lot of these people aren't any healthier. Well, they're a little. I won't say they're not any healthier than standard American diet eaters, but they just don't have a healthy frame of mind because they're obsessing on one little thing, um, and not focusing on the big picture so much. Like I say, never throwing shade on the lifestyle, just throwing shade on that absolute obsession, raw above everything. Um, they just missed the point. And there's a lot of YouTubers that are obsessed with fully raw out there, and it's a shame sometimes because some of them are very well spoken, some of them have a lot of good information. I just don't feel like they reach as wide an audience as they could because they are just so blinders on, obsessed with nothing but fully raw, and almost not even encouraging people if they don't do fully raw themselves. And it's just, it's a one that's one of the biggest reasons people being obsessed with fully raw is why most people can't do this raw vegan lifestyle, and being obsessed with getting to fully raw so quickly, and like that just being the end all be all of it. They're just not making smart decisions. I see people all the time that are trying to be too raw for themselves. They're not ready for it. Whatever they want to say, however they want to look at it, whatever excuses they want to pull up, they're not ready for fully raw. And then when they try to go fully raw and they're not ready, it's almost just like it's like the pressure building up in them. The pressure's building up. It's just got to stay fully raw, fully raw. Don't put any ingredients in that aren't fully raw. And then when they blow, when they explode, when they go off the rails, they go off the rails 10 times worse than anybody. I mean, they're eating absolute garbage. Listen, it happens. I see it all the time. People, if you're not ready for fully raw, transition properly. Have a little patience with it. But I don't even quite comprehend this. I see people make comments all the time in various places about how they just did a 30-day juice feast or a 30-day this or that or something that was just extremely like clean. And then they're like, oh, and they say it, and then it snapped, and they went from extremely clean to just, I'm like, how do you even go? You had that had to have felt pretty bad. Like you had to really felt bad after it was done, because they went from very clean to not putting some cooked back in, but eating some horrid stuff. I'm talking junk. Um, Even a lot of times they've stayed vegan, but like just like going totally to the other end, just processed vegan junk food, lots of fat, lots of nuts, going from no fat for 30 days to just like basically injecting fat into their veins. And end result is they ended up probably less healthy than they were when they started the whole thing. So, I feel like this one's kind of just rambling a little bit today, but I don't know. I'll just kind of keep rambling and throw out and just come back to that moral of don't be obsessed with the raw vegan part of this. If you get to it, you get to it, and you can get to it, and you will get to it if you will do this thing properly. But it seems just like nobody seems to want to hear that when people when people kind of don't give them some gimmicky thing or give them some quick fix. Their eyes tend to glass over and they're not quite as interested anymore. They're not actually quite interested in doing the work themselves, figuring this lifestyle out, taking their time, going through the steps as their body gets cleaner. And as their body gets cleaner, it just naturally makes these better choices, and the body craves these better choices. But when when you just kind of bum rush it and you just come in and say, all right, like come into the body and we're cleaning house in one day or very quickly, the body's going to rebel against that, and it's going to make it physically and psychologically harder to do this lifestyle. So as my central message will always be, always focus on your health. Don't worry about if you're in the club or if you're part of the religion of raw vegan and if you're following it 100% to the letter. Some people are following it 100% to the letter of being raw, and I don't even consider them remotely as healthy as some people that do eat cooked food, but they're balanced up here, and they are focusing on their health. So that's what it's all about. It's about the health. It's not about, maybe if you're a lot younger than me, okay, I understand, people like to get in cliques, they like to join, they like to be part of something, but focus on your health and don't focus so much on being this raw vegan. Sometimes that word, I use those keywords a lot, but sometimes they just kind of get annoying. I'm starting to really enjoy just talking with people that just talk about plant-based and whole foods and that kind of vocabulary versus the raw vegan fruitarian stuff. Although I do consider myself probably raw vegan fruitarian, like mostly in the high 90% on it, but focus on the health. And that's all I need to say for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and click the little bell next to it so you'll get notifications. And I will be seeing you guys in Costa Rica here pretty soon. Peace.